Hey everyone, we're still here on Toulan, and I thought I would do another round of tree cutting because I need the boards for one to do another basic butt joint run. But on top of that, we need to build up our peripheral skills. And so anytime I like to do tree cutting, I try to use a skill pill if I have it. And since I just bought a couple of ammo packs today, and since I buy, when I say ammo packs, I mean not the ammo refill packs, I mean the starter refill packs. So they come with a couple of skill point boosters. It's always nice to get that when we do this because these skills are one very valuable, and so the more you get for the same amount of money, the better. Especially analysis there, that's a big looter skill. I think it's in the top little bit on all of the looting professions, even the robot one. And so having that is always beneficial. Let's see what other sorts of skills we can get here. But these are going to backfill your looting professions. Um, on the mutant looter, it's going to be genetics and zoology. Your intelligence. Let me see what else. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up real fast. Ah, here we are. Uh, your dexterity is going to get built up with this. So is your alertness. That alertness is 6% of the mutant looting. You're going to gain some perception. That's a goes into all of them. It'll also build up your geology if you ever want to step into mining. You already have your foot in the door, so to speak. And so I like to start up here on this island and wipe it out first. Um, it's easy to get to. You can just teleport there. It's, I'm not the only one. See, there's likely someone coming around to harvest some trees as well, judging by their proximity. But yeah, even the robot looter, alertness, dexterity, perception, analysis. And so you can work on all of your looting skills. Well, not all of them, but you get a good portion of your looting skills. Oh, see, he came up and scanned me. He wants to see what my skills are. Sorry, we're going to move on to the next one. Let's see if there's any more harvestable trees here. Okay, he didn't say anything. Or she. I didn't even see who it was. But it kind of looks like someone else had wiped out the rest of the trees. Maybe that person, maybe someone else. Oh, wait, nope, there they are. They just hadn't popped in for me. Maybe I should try and increase my draw distance a little bit. Just so that they spawn a little sooner so it's easier to see them maybe. If not, not a huge deal. But you see I'm a level 38 resource gatherer. I'm a big fan of this as fill-in and for your back peripheral skills. Um, Especially for animal looters. Analysis is big. Zoology is big. Biology is big. Alertness is big. Dexterity is big. I mean, right there's like 5 skills that really drive and help you get a little bit more loot. Homie wants to know where the axe, because it looks so cool, where I got it from. And so I let him know, no, that's just the trade terminal harvesting axe here on Tolan. I wish that we could get that as like a weapon. That would be really cool. Maybe they have some on like Rocktopia that have yet to be discovered, or or here as a weapon blueprint that just hasn't been discovered yet. He's telling me I should use a level 3 one. And so, oh, we're gonna keep being polite. What's he got to say? Awesome. And so it's, I don't know. I always just try to be super nice to people. He was telling me to use the level 3 tool because you get better skill um, per pull and you get more boards. You can get up to 10 per pull on a normal pull versus the 1 or 2 I'm going to get with this small tool. What I found, however, is that this tool I get better average returns. And so since I'm doing this I like to do this to kind of relax at the end of the day, maybe kill a little bit of time. And so I'm not trying to maximize my skill for the least amount of time. If I was, then I'd be using the level 3. Or if I was really serious about it, I suppose I would go get the PH4, which I had for a little while when these huge trees were really popular here on Tolan. And you can pull on a huge tree, you can get a big pull of more than one um, huge board. And so it really let me stack those up quickly. And then a big pull on one of those is pretty substantial. Uh, to be honest, I don't have one anymore. It's just not worth it to have it anymore. But at that time, it was easy to sell these boards. They had really good markup. Um, and so this is the tool he was telling me that we should be using because you get better skill a little bit. I mean, a lot of it. Skill is based on the amount of ped you're spending. And the axe, it's 2 pack per pull. And on this thing, it's 10. So it costs 5 times more. And so you see how we're pulling 5 boards, 9 boards. And so if we were just trying to focus on getting the most amount of boards in the shortest amount of time, this tool or the next one above it, that PH4 I was talking about, would be the best. But see, boom, 30. That's a good pull there for him. But you get a little bit better skilling because of the 5 times ped spent. But most people will get mad when you harvest a huge tree with the level 1 board thing too. Um, but at 90% returns, 95% returns, if you're just trying to slow grind and catch your zoology and your analysis, see how my analysis is now at 37, over 3,700. If you're just trying to grind and catch that up a little bit and unwind at the end of the day, just grab a few tools out of the trade terminal, whether you're on Rocktopia, you're on Calypso, you're on Tolan here, Cyrene when they add trees, Arcadia if you know where to look for them. I've never been successful in finding trees on Arcadia. I know they exist there somewhere, but I've never harvested them there personally. But I like to keep the level 3 tool on hand is because we're short a little bit on level 2 boards. And so what that guy didn't know is that we're trying to get enough boards for the And we're gonna go hit this one too, since it's respawned. To run that basic butt joint again, because we're gonna try and get another furniture blueprint that we don't have. I'd like to take one more run at that and see what we can't maybe generate. And we already have all the level 3 boards. And so the only thing we're really needing is level 1 boards and level 2 boards. And so I'm holding that PH3 back so that I can pull the level 2 boards. Because we need, I think, about 800 or 1,000 of them. I'll have to double check um, when we go by the storage area again. Speaking of, let's grab a few of those as they're about to pop up right here. And then we'll break that tool at some point and we'll see where we're at on how many boards we still need. Oh, that was a nice pull. We had a couple of good little 3 times pulls and whatnot, which gave us a fair amount of these moonleaf boards. Those are level, so level 3, level 2, level 1. And then I think we'll probably need some more shrapnel. I'm not real sure exactly how much, because I don't know how much I have on hand. And so after I do the circle on this area here, I like to just teleport down here to the jelly zone. Because these two areas are going to have the highest concentration of trees for the most part. Now, obviously, if someone's been through recently and cut them all down, there'll be no trees really, but which is what's going to be here because you see that guy down there. So we're going to go ahead and skip this area since it looks like someone's actively just started hitting it. Probably that guy that was talking to us up at that flora and fauna. And so we'll go ahead and skip that. We're going to go ahead and go to the pit then. And so normally it's a big grouping all the way down that west coast on the water line. I just didn't want to have to run past him and then compete for trees. I figure we can just leap somewhere else real fast. Grab the little bit of trees that are there. I know a handful of low grove areas, and then at the end, we'll teleport back and see what's respawned since he went through. Um, they start respawning pretty fast, usually within an hour. And these you have to get in close because if you just right click from afar, they'll actually stop outside the harvest zone and just sit there swinging, and you'll never actually get anything or trigger the tree to go away. See, we're getting a little bit of intelligence there, some more analysis. Those are important. Uh, well, intelligence as a stat is always important. It makes you smarter, and no one's ever like, I really wish that person was dumber. I guess maybe if they are always making you look dumb, then you're like, hey, I wish that guy wasn't as smart. He's making me look bad. But typically speaking, you want people to be smart, not the other way around. And so getting some intelligence is a plus. The analysis, like I said earlier, goes into that looting skill, and not a small amount. It's one of the top sub skills. Let me see how much it actually is though before I. Yeah, 5% on the robot looter. we're more of an ammo looter, so let's see how much it is there. 5%. So that's not an insignificant amount. I mean, it's not the top sub skill. That would probably be perception at 9%, followed by serendipity at 8%, and anatomy at 7%. Then alertness. But you get alertness here, you get that analysis, you get zoology, which is in that 5 to 3% zone. You get biology, which is in that same zone, as well as dexterity. And so it's a whole bunch of the lower end, the as I like to call them, the nickel and dime skills, because it's literally like biology and dexterity are 3%, zoology is 4%, analysis 5%, alertness 6, anatomy 7, serendipity 8, perception 9. And so they're all real small um, things that add up. So that's why I call them the peripheral looting skills. And so I like to do this to backfill those in a little bit so that my main skill doesn't completely outgun and I have nothing in these other surrounding skills. I like to be well rounded. Plus, I like to have the zoology and biology and those skills just because they're science skills. I like my character to have a little bit of science knowledge. And so at 2 pack, you see how I'm getting about 90% back on most of the swings. And so at the end of the day, you take 3 tools out, you're down 1.5 to 2 ped at 90% or just slightly under. You see, I'm not. Oh, it is hitting it this time. Nice. I thought I was going to be able to demonstrate what I was talking about around that uh, teleporter, where sometimes you'll stop far enough out that it won't harvest the trees. Um, but maybe they went ahead and fixed that. That'd be cool. I think we'll be able to test it. I think there'll be a couple up around the teleporter up here, unless the guy who dropped for that aqueous stone harvested them. I see one up there, so we'll go check it out. I'll be super excited if they fix that. Oh, looks like I broke that axe. That one. No, it looks like they fixed it. That's awesome. You used to get stuck just outside the zone, and they would it wouldn't harvest it. All right, we'll grab this last one, and then we'll go check out the probably the Guardian Village, and then hit that area just outside. Throw down that hoverboard. We'll get there pretty quick across the water to the little grove of trees. If no one's hit that one. And so the only problem with tree harvesting on Tolan is that if there's 3 or 4 people who are trying to peripheral skill, you can run out of trees pretty quickly, even with just like 2 or 3 sometimes, if they're super serious, really gung ho about going at it. But it's still absolutely worth doing. It's worth doing because it's really hard to raise these skills up anywhere else. But it does look like the guy is, or someone has hit the village, because normally there's one up there, there's one down this alley over there. Oh, well, there's one right there. We'll hit that one at least. Either it's been a little bit and that's starting to respawn, or, oh, it's way back here, huh? You just didn't notice this one. I don't think I've noticed that one before. Anyway, there's a couple that spawn here in the village, and it looks like they've kind of been hit. We'll see. There's one that spawns right out here. We'll see if that one's been hit, and then we'll kind of go check out the island real fast. Yeah, looks like that's been hit. So we'll work on my skateboarding skills here. And we're gonna head across to this island over here. And you see we've got 1% towards the mutant looter already, just from our tree harvesting today. Oh, and I didn't see that, but we got a new rank in geology. That's kind of nice. So this is a grove of trees I like to hit. There's usually like 4 or 5, and people, for whatever reason, don't hit this little area. They'll hit the other areas that only have like 1 or 2, but they won't hit this one. Maybe they just don't know about it. I don't know. Maybe they think it's too out of the way. This is like my secret spot where I can almost always find trees. Like I said, I mean, even when that dude hit the coast, went down the thing, the village had been hit a little bit. Here's full spawn. And then there's two more down here, and then two more across the water that people always forget about. And so I've worked my athletic skill up pretty high. Um, well, not like super high, but in the like 3Ks. And a big portion of that has come from tree harvesting here on Toulan and on Rocktopia and on Calypso as well. And so every little bit I like to take a break and grab some of these axes or the little chainsaw looking thing on Rocktopia or Calypso and find a little grove of trees and backfill a little bit of these skills, like that alertness, like the perception, the analysis. I don't know what it directly affects or if it directly affects anything at all. But it's like I said, I don't know. I feel better having those skills than not having those skills. And I know it'll help push up your looter level, which affects your overall trade terminal value of materials that you get. Not the distribution, just the overall value by, I think they said 0.07% per level or something like that. A small amount. But every little bit helps. Now we're going to run back because I left my board up here to fly back across to the teleporter. And we'll move on to probably just teleport down here and hit this bottom area and real fast. I think it's going to be the plan. Oh, there's my hoverboard. Off we go. And so we we're gonna just shoot up the coast here. I accidentally had my mute on there for a second and didn't realize it. Um, but you see, we're getting some biology. We got some gardener. I don't know what the gardener's for. Um, the biology is a nice backfill. It's hard to get other than I think pet taming. Analysis hard to get other than maybe mining or I actually don't know how else you get analysis. Scanning people, technology, I bet. Same with the zoology. You can pet tame or you can scan, I think. And so there's not a wide variety of tasks you can repeat again and again in the same manner that you can with tree harvesting that is going to give the same skill gains and help you backfill. And so we're just trying to backfill those little skills because there's actually no unlocks attached really to the resource gatherer that I'm aware of. But we'll dig into that a little bit as we move to the next tree here. Oh, that guy's going to aggro. We're going to dump him in the water. We're going to stick to our plan there for a second. So they can't swim. As soon as you get out far enough, they just drop to the bottom and you can stay on the top. And then they'll drown and you won't. I mean, you're not going to drown anyway as an avatar ever, but they will. And so that's the easy way to dump a mob over here that aggroes if you're just interested in tree harvesting and you don't want to have to kill anything. Having a water path like that can be extremely important. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's attached to any skill unlocks in any capacity that I'm noticing. And so is literally 100% about the peripheral skills at that point and the side skills like that geology. I don't mind in hardly at all. Let's see what mining right here. This will kind of highlight it. 458 mining, 410 prospecting, 2800 geology. And so almost all of that geology comes strictly from the tree harvesting that I've done. And I'd like to get into mining at some point. I just haven't really got around to it yet. Sounds like it's kind of involved and and whatnot. And so I was just trying to kind of, since it kind of will help me catapult into that later, it's something I'm interested in checking out at some point. Just not something I was ready to dive headfirst into. And this allows me to build up one of the skills associated with doing a little better when I do start to dip my toe into that, so to speak, while backfilling and making my returns as a hunter a little bit better on a per hunt basis. And so over the long haul, backfilling and getting that extra little bit of loot for a longer period of time starts to add up. Um, Not really on a day-to-day basis because the percents are so small, but for sure on a month-to-month or a year-to-year, depending on how much you like to hunt. we're going to try not to aggro any of those. And so we'll hit this other tree on the side first. I'm hoping he's going to stay over there. We'll hit this tree and we'll kind of continue working north. And so up this coast or down this coast is one of my favorite spots to tree harvest just because there's so many trees and it's such a long little stretch. I mean, you see all these trees that are harvestable, and it's kind of like this for most of the entire stretch on both sides. Like up here, and then it skips a little bit, and then it's all in here, then it skips a little bit, and then it's all the way up here and here. That's where that guy was earlier when I was like, nah, it looks like that dude's rolling down that section there. We'll just go ahead and start here and move past. And that's when we jump down to the pit. Yep, well, that's going to aggro him. We're going to run into the water again real fast, dump him. Then we'll hit this tree I didn't notice before. Oh man, hit me 3 times in a row. That's a bummer. Well, let's get rid of that guy. He seemed mad. We don't have time for his negativity. We're moving past that. There's that genetics. So the genetics does work up a little slower than the rest of the sublooting skills. I don't know how else you get that as a mutant looter, other than, I mean, maybe the makeup artist gives it. Let's 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 take a see if we can't figure that out while we're doing this tree harvest, talking about skills. Okay, yeah, it looks like it goes into body sculpting and face sculpting, so I bet that's the other way you could work that up. I bet that's kind of expensive. So so I'm glad that this was an option for us because it seemed like it was a mutant investigator. So I guess if I scan them, I can get some genetics. Or if I do some body sculpting or face sculpting, so if I become a makeup artist, which not not real high on my career path for the Saboteur. I mean, one day I want to be proficient in everything, but there's definitely some order and breakdown to what priorities, I guess, is the best way to put it. And so I guess my first priority is kind of like a better looter and then a better crafter a little bit so that I can use my loot effectively. or sell it. I got options. And then I like to pick up a little bit of mining just in case I can't find some resources. That way I can figure out where they are, go grab them myself if I have to, in case I don't want to get backlogged on an item that I want to use for myself to skill or level up on. And a lot of times there's one down here, and I'm not really. Oh, there it is. It was a little bush instead of a big tree this time. I almost missed it. And I'm not seeing any more there. So I think it might be time. Oh, I say that and then I see one, and then another one, and another one. So we'll grab these trees that I was clearly about to run off and miss. And so again, big grouping of trees all the way up on both sides of this outpost, and then there's like a barren section, and then in the middle of the outpost there's a bunch of trees also that you can harvest, like 8 directly around that you can literally see from the revival spot. And you see we broke a partial tool, a whole tool. We're almost halfway through another tool, and so you can really churn out some skills pretty quickly. And then we're getting reasonable returns. And so that's 7, 8, 8 and a quarter-ish, 11 and a half almost so far. And a little bit is from that level 3 tool we used. But we're definitely not getting our butt kicked here. And we're getting really good skills that are pretty expensive to get otherwise. I don't know what, I don't have a or an auction terminal on me. But zoology, I know, um, at one point was around 3 to 4,000% markup. Biology has good markup. The analysis skill has pretty good markup, like 3,000, 4,000% markup. And so a bunch of these skills have high markup because they're hard to get, and most people don't want to grind through a bunch of these little tools to get those skills. And you see, we got a reasonable dex skill. They're up like 0.14, and I have a reasonable dex already. So 4,500, and we're still getting those type of skill gains. And so that tells you kind of how nice. And that could have been a double skill up. Sometimes you get, where it's double the value in skill that you would normally get. But even if that's the case, that's still a significant amount of a point in value once you get over 3,000. Definitely once you get over 4,000. And so it's pretty easy to take 3 tools or 2 to 3 tools and break them in an hour time, no problem, which will give you a pretty significant amount of skills. See, we're pushing up onto the level 10 treasure hunter, and I have yet to drop a treasure hunting probe on Arcadia. I would like to one day, maybe maybe on our circuit through the galaxy. This time we'll stop and I'll try to make a trip down into the underground and check it out a little better. And we'll drop a treasure hunting probe just so that I can say I've done it once. pushing level 10 based off tree hunting. I'm sure the geology skill goes into the treasure hunting. Probably the analysis skill, I bet. Looks like we got a little... Oh, this is that dry section I was talking about before we get back to the outpost there. You can see it kind of jutting up. And I'll give us a quick sec to look up that treasure hunter, see how it affects it. And we'll just Google it real quick on my phone while we make this run. And then we'll see if that dude hit the ones that are around this outpost, or if they, or if we're gonna get some extra ones there. Let's see. Intelligence affects it. Perception affects it. Geology affects it. So the geology, perception, and intelligence that I'm getting from tree hunting is really the drivers for my treasure hunter profession, is what it's looking like. And so on this far side is usually where they're at, if they're up. Again, with having 1 to 2 people already harvesting the trees, there's a, oh, there they are. I was thinking since I hadn't spotted them yet that they weren't up. But maybe he just didn't get this far, or he hasn't made it here yet. You see how there's a small grouping here, 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 here. There's one out there. And so it's a small grouping, like a little grove, um, that you can harvest here around this little middle outpost that doesn't have a teleporter. And so because it doesn't have a teleporter, people sometimes will leave it alone or forget about it. We did not forget about it though, luckily. And it's going to result in a bunch of skill for us. There's some more resource gathering skill. And that's the other thing. Like, we've got 3% of a resource gatherer skill at 38th level, um, just off of a few tools. Even if we lost everything, like got nothing back, it would be a 15 ped loss for that, in which it's going to be probably about a 1 ped, 1.5 ped loss. We're not going to keep track because I use that level 3 tool. And I'm not going to attempt to back that out. It would be kind of a pain in the butt. We'd be doing a lot of guessing. But traditionally, 90% losses is what they say, and I've got that pretty regularly on the tree harvesting. 80 to 90%. So we're talking 1.5 to 3 ped down. And like I said, I think you really get that in the skills, especially if you use the skill pill and you're getting 1.5 times as much skill as you normally would. You really get your value in skill then. Well, now we'll have to kind of shoot forward. It's a little bit of a long haul. So let's hop on our hoverboard. And that dropped that one in the water that was onto us and was going to try and chase us down. We're not down with that. Now we're going to pull up here. And let's see what we have to harvest. Let that crash down. Grab our little axe. Pick it up. What do we got? What have we got? Nothing here. Maybe I stopped a little early. Maybe I need to go on to the next grove area. Or maybe this area has been hit. Those are the options. We'll see. We'll know here pretty quick when we get over this next little section right here. If this area has none and that area has none, then that guy probably got down far enough. And I would expect to see some kind of on the edge over there. I'm not seeing it, not picking up anything. But maybe he didn't know about this edge because I see some trees here. So we'll go ahead and grab those. And so this edge and then the water's edge um, always typically have some trees here to harvest. But again, oh, that was a nice hit, 13 ped. Uh, Literally within an hour, you can break 3 tools and get a veritable truckload of skill. I mean, we're talking, I'm pushing over 4,800 and I still got 4 points of the main skill associated with it, which isn't the one that you're trying to work up for your looter, but you just get skill after skill while doing this. And so it's impressive for a variety of reasons. There are looter skills. You get a little bit more trade terminal. You want a bigger number when you click this on and you're like, what are my total skill points? That's not enough. This is a good way to move up some skills that you wouldn't otherwise necessarily move up quickly. And so you'll see bigger gains because you haven't worked them yet. They're expensive to buy if you're like, well, I'm just going to chip these in. They're kind of expensive. I don't know that you want to do that. I mean, maybe you can because you have a big budget, but that doesn't mean that it's going to bring you. I guess time is expensive to people, and so maybe it is a good value for you specifically. Um, I only chip in when I think that I'm going to get a definitive immediate value out of it. Um, like when I tried to unlock butchering, I thought that was worth buying the last leg just so that I could have it unlocked immediately. Not sure it was the best choice. Is the choice I made though. Well, either it's respawning or he missed this spot. Well, good for us. You know what I say? We're gonna drop a probe too. Then maybe it's our lucky day. There's our little uh, trade terminal finder. We're just gonna drop a little trade terminal probe. Then we'll go back to tree harvesting here real fast. Finish out this thing. Oh, boom. I don't know what we got. Let's grab it though. That looks good. Listerium, huh? I don't know what I need Listerium for. But we got some. And so periodically while I'm out tree harvesting, I like to just randomly drop a little probe um, and just see what I get. Here I try to use the trade terminal one because it hits real shallow, which is where those Nala fragments are that power those uh, instances. And so if you drop too deep, supposedly you can't get them. And so we know that that guy kind of shot down and hit that other area. And so, but this is what I like to do: pop a skill pill, kind of relax, work on my peripheral skills a little bit. I put this on for the reload bonus, so I get a little bit faster swings. That's the only reason I'm wearing that armor and that hat. Um, and this helps me build and catch up my side skills, like biology, in which we only got like 4 points there. Analysis, we got like 10, 9, 10 points there. Zoology, we've got to kind of a new rank. Got a point and a half there, brought us up to 3,000. Got some dexterity, and so got some perception, and so we were able to really pull up our a little bit of our side skills with this. And so like once a week or so, I like to take a break, relax, and churn this out. Sometimes I'll do it at night. Sometimes I'll take a whole day and do one round in the morning, one round at night, just trying to keep things, keep my character balanced a little bit. Hope this helps you out. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Stay epic.